What's going on, guys? It's Phoenix, or the reviewer formerly known as the Zizzler. Um, Hopefully, a quick little video. Again, one of those direct uploads because I don't have the time to do a properly edited video right now. And this one is a response to vigadeath's latest video. Obviously, per the title below. So his video was talking about happiness, the whole new Toy Joy thing, and then the whole arguably more annoying thing of Transformers don't give me happiness anymore. I don't know why I spent all my time with this collecting habit. I'm getting out of Transformers. I'm selling all the crap that I own. That thing, and then also just happiness in general. I feel like my perspective on this is going to be one of the more interesting ones. Well, at least I hope it is, because I've definitely been on both sides of the fence with this. Back when I started collecting, right around the '07 movie line range, if I could get my words out, and then animated when that came out, I was basically using the ability to purchase whatever figure I wanted at the drop of a hat. And I collected way too many figures over the 4 years that I was an undergrad. And that's when I was doing the bulk of my collecting. I was basically buying a figure like 2 times a week, I want to say, if not like 3 times a week. And while I have the fortune of coming from a family that does have a significant amount of money still, even with my dad's passing a little over a year ago, I drove my student based credit card because had done a deal with some random company here in the US where they gave me like a student rate for a credit card, which was kind of amazing, into the ground. And that's because literally like every other day I was buying a Transformer because I was of the mindset where these pieces of plastic crack, and yes, I am grabbing a third party one, gave me happiness because I wasn't getting really any satisfaction from really just social interactions that I was having at the time. And a large part of that is, to be frank, who I was. And my identity at the time, and that's really changed over the years. That's a separate video for another time. And honestly, kind of makes me wish that the whole draw my life thing was still going on. But that would require a lot of effort and a lot of editing. I'm getting sidetracked. Um, but so rather than have fulfilling social interactions, I was basically purchasing pieces of plastic crack, like not Impactor here, even though he just came out recently. Um, or even more specifically, first party figures, like, just for a more recent example, Combiner Wars Shockwave, to give me happiness. And looking back on those 4 years, I don't know what the hell I was thinking. Um, it was definitely a matter of I was getting another hit. I was buying something to fulfill a need in my life, a need to really like find a niche to belong. It was another hit. I'm stealing that analogy from you, Vigadeath, because that's exactly what it was for me. Um, One of my friends in undergrad, and I still talk to her now, and so I think that'll be about 9 years that I've known her. If not a little longer, though we've been on and off with talking. I digress. She did the math. I want to say it was towards the tail end of senior year, when things were starting to wrap up in life and everything for us on campus. And she's like, Zach, you realize that if we did the math backwards, you bought a transformer, every like other day, effectively, or you spent like hundreds of dollars per week on largely mainline figures, first party figures like these. And again, I'm just using Thundertron, a more recent Transformer, as an example because I don't have any that I was collecting at that time. Well, I do, but they're all over there and I'm lazy. Um, but you get my point. The whole idea was that I was doing the whole putting a price tag on happiness thing. And now, while I still enjoy collecting, for me, it's much more a matter of getting fulfilling interactions and happiness outside of collecting, and then having collecting being a part of my identity, part of who I am, and have it be something that I dabble in from time to time. I will fully admit, I've been in several financial rough spots because of this hobby, because I've spent way too much money at times on figures. And I'm not at the point still where I can instantly drop $100 on a third party figure as soon as he comes out. Um, Frankly, I at this point kind of regret even going on Unique Toys' Orden combiner, their not Monstructor, or Abominus rather, because that set just ultimately was so just underwhelming and just was a letdown. And that was a figure. I mean, we were looking at like $70-ish per figure, although I think their hunger was closer to 100. Um, Money really doesn't buy happiness, and that's something that I definitely had to learn. I want to say the hard way, but just learn through other means, specifically counseling, and working through a lot of my own personal stuff. Um, because of who I used to be, collecting was my outlet of finding some sorts of belonging. And I think I just made up a word there. Now, I'm a completely freaking different person. So, my happiness, yes, it does come partially from collecting, in that it is nice to get a new toy, which is why I use that new toy joy hashtag. But way more often, I definitely get tons more happiness from being out there, being social with people that I like, with my friends, and work. In spite of the mental illness that I live with, because I live with generalized anxiety disorder and I've had that diagnosis for almost 4 years now, I get much more happiness from being out in the world and being social with friends and all of that jazz than I do from collecting any of the figures that you've seen in this video, or just any in general. If I could sell my entire collection and just be a nerd in other ways and not be a collector, I would. Because my happiness is not contingent upon this collection. It's influenced by it, but it's not entirely 1,000% dependent on it. It's like maybe at most, and 1,000% was the wrong number, so we'll go with 120%, if that, and that's being generous, dependent on it. 80 to 95% of my happiness is outside of collecting. So, just my 2 cents on all of this. Really good video, as, well, frankly, I expected from you, vigadeath. And yeah, thanks for watching, guys. I'll see you in the next video, whatever that is.